Welcome to Study Loop.
Let's start by making a free body diagram. So we have a box. On that box there's a force P which is acting at an angle of 30 degrees below the horizontal. Then there is obviously the weight of the object, which is mg. Since m is 100 kilograms times by 9.8, that becomes 980 newtons. And then there's a normal force which we will need to calculate, and then there's a force of friction. So let's first of all break this force down. So instead of having that P, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it by its component. So there will be a P cosine of theta and there will be a P sine of theta. So I'm replacing P with its components, and then we have mg, which is 980 newtons, and then we have Fn, and then we have Fk. So far what I have done is I've simply broken the forces down, P particularly, into its components. So let's first of all figure out Fn. Since it's moving it says that the net work is 0, therefore it's moving at a constant speed. So when you have net work is equal to 0, that would imply that delta K is equal to 0, and that would imply that delta V is equal to 0, and that would then mean that sum of all the forces is 0. So we can actually say that sum of forces is 0. Particularly, we can start with saying that summation of forces in the y direction is 0. So Fn is the upward force minus mg is the downward force, and then minus P sine of theta is also a downward force, is equal to 0. So from here I can say that Fn minus 980 minus P times sine of 30, and sine of 30 is 0.5. So from here I get Fn is equal to 980 minus 0.5 P. So we from Fn we can now calculate Fk. So Fk is mu k times Fn. So that's equal to 0.2 times 980 minus 0.5 P. So we are going to use this value of Fk shortly. So let's simplify this as much as we can. So 0.2 times 980 is 196 minus 0.1 P. So we got our value for the force of friction. Now we're going to use the idea that the work done by P minus the work done by the force of friction is equal to 0. So work done by P would be equal to P cosine of theta times S, and work done by friction would be the force of friction times S is equal to 0. Since S is the same distance traveled by both of them, so we can actually simplify this to say that P of cosine theta is equal to F of K, and P times cosine of 30 degrees is equal to 196 minus 0.1 P, and cosine of 30 degrees is 0.866 approximately, is equal to 196 minus 0.1 P, and when I solve this for P, I get P is equal to 256 newtons.